Okay, so in example 1 we're asked well, first of all, we're shown a diagram shows the plan of a workshop floor, and we're asked to find the perimeter of the workshop floor. Okay, so I'm going to be going all the way around the edge, and if I just go round, I can see what this dimension here is going to be the same as the vertical heights on the opposite side, so 2 meters and 0.5. That's from here and here. And then going along horizontally, well, those horizontal distances are going to sum to the same as what's along the bottom. So I think that I'm basically going to have 2 lots of 2.5, because 2.5 is the total vertical height here. I'm going to have 2 lots because it's on that side. The 2 lots of 2.5 is 5 meters. And then I'm going to have 2 lots of 5.5. So 5.5 is along the bottom, and I've got basically exactly the same horizontal measurements along the top. So 2 lots of 5.5 is 11. So I've got 11 plus my 5 from the vertical heights, which gives me a perimeter of 16. Okay, calculate the area of the workshop floor. Well, to work out the area of the workshop floor, it's usually helpful to split the shape into 2 rectangles, okay? And you want, where possible, to split the shape so that the rectangles you make have dimensions already, okay? So if I split it like this, I don't have this horizontal dimension, for example. I can find it out pretty easily, but it's not there straight away, okay? So I'm better off splitting it this way. Why? Because I have the horizontal length and I have the vertical height of this rectangle. Here I've got the horizontal length of this rectangle and I've got the vertical height. So I've got the dimensions already. Okay, so let's work out the area of this one. Well, the area of this one is 3 multiplied by 0.5, which is the same as saying a half of 3. Well, a half of 3 is just 1.5. So that is 1.5 meters squared. Okay, 1.5 meters squared. And this one is 5.5 multiplied by 2, and 2 lots of 5.5 is 11. 11 meters. Oops, 11 meters squared. And then to calculate the total area, therefore I just need to add those two together, and I get 12.5. The final bit of the question says, it costs £15 per square metre to sand and paint the floor. What is the cost of sanding and painting the workshop floor? So if it's per square metre, that basically means that 1 square metre costs £15, 2 square metres are going to cost £30, 3 square metres is going to cost £45, and so on. So I'm doing a multiplication, and I've got a 12.5 square metre workshop floor, so I need to multiply that by 15. Okay, so you're going to do yourself a little multiplication. So I'm just going to bring a little grid on here just for quickness, and I'm going to do 12.5. I'm going to think about the decimal point later. Actually, I'm going to put 125 multiplied by 15. So let's do that. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 1 is 1. And 1 times 5 is 5. And then we add along the diagonals. So just adding on this diagonal, not the outer digits, just the ones inside the grid. This is 5. 5 plus 2 plus 0 is 7. 2 plus 1 plus 5 is 8. And then I've just got a 1 here. And now I'm just going to use my estimation skills and think, well, if it's 15 lots of 12.5, well, I know that 12 lots of 12 is 144, so we're going to have a bit more than that. I reckon that is going to be £187.50. Okay, so £187.50. And I would like you to do these all non-calculator where possible. There might be the odd one that requires a calculator, but where possible you should try and do it without. But if your calculator says 187.5, for example, try and make sure that you put it to 2 decimal places, because that, of course, is what money is. It goes to 2 decimal places, so make sure that you put your 0 on the end there, even if your calculator doesn't say it. Okay, because it is a money question. Okay, so it says work out the area of the shape. So in the same way that I did the other question, I'm going to split this into 2 shapes. In fact, we've already got the dotted line there for us. This is straight out of an exam paper, so the dotted line is actually already there for us. So I'm going to split this into 2 shapes. So let's call this A and let's call this B. Okay, so area of A, so show your workings. A is 5 multiplied by 7, because that's how I find the area of it. I do the length multiplied by the width, and that gives me 35. 35, what are my units? They are centimetres squared. And B, well, B is a triangle, so I've got to remember to halve my base times my height. So my base here is 4 centimetres, and the perpendicular height here, I would never choose this diagonal length because that is not my perpendicular height. Okay, this is my perpendicular height here, and this is 5 centimetres, because I can see that from the other side. This is 5 centimetres. So I'm going to do 5 multiplied by 4, but then divide it by 2. Okay, so 5 multiplied by 4, which gives me 20. Divide it by 2, because I want a triangle, not the rectangle, and I get 10 centimetres squared. So therefore, what's the total area? Well, it's the sum of those 2 areas, so I get a total of 45 centimetres squared. Okay, so that is my answer. Quite a straightforward example there. Let's have a look at example 3 now. So it says the diagram shows the shape, work out the area of the shape. Okay, well, as I said before, let's now split this up, but let's split it up so that we have dimensions of our shapes as far as possible. So, and I don't really want to split it into more than 2 shapes if I can, so I think I'm going to split it there. Okay, that gives me a rectangle here with dimensions 8 and 9. So again, I'm going to split this into 2 shapes, A and B. So A is 8 multiplied by 9, because it's just a rectangle. So that gives me 72 centimetres squared. 72 centimetres squared. Apologies for that. Bit of extra pen there. 72 centimetres squared. And then the area of B, well, I need to know my vertical height, and that is my right angle, so I need this dimension here and this dimension here. Okay, so my height, I think my vertical height here is going to be 9 take away 4. Okay, so that is going to be 5 centimeters, and then my horizontal width is going to be 20 take away 8, so that's going to be 12. So for my area of B, I'm going to do 12 multiplied by 5, but then I need to remember to halve it. Okay, so 12 multiplied by 5, but I want half of it. Okay, so I'm going to divide it by 2, Well, 12 fives are 60. If I divide it by 2, I get that is 30 centimetres squared. Okay, and then the total area is the sum of those two areas. So 72 plus 30 is going to give me 102 centimetres squared. And that is my final answer.